we have. Just a quick little introduction to myself. My name is Elias Serjan. I run a company called Proven Research. And what we like to do is do clinical validation for the wellness and longevity space. So just as a quick test here, I'm curious to ask you in the room, how many people here take some form of nutritional supplementation by a show of hands, right? So probably most of you. And then how do you, in the second follow-up question to that is, do you think the supplementation works for you, yes or no? Yes. Okay. So some people, yes, somebody laughs, right? Because you're not sure, right? And that's the problem, right? It's very hard to tell whether these things actually work or not. People kind of say, I feel better. And of course, we all know the placebo effect is a real thing, as well as the placebo and the nocebo effect. So people are incredibly good at self-deception, let's be honest, right? We're really good at that. And so one of the challenging things we need to do is actually prove when things work and when they don't. And so that's what our company does. I may have a chance to talk a little bit more about what we do at Proven later on. But for now, I want to talk about or introduce a company, and I believe they're in the room. Are they in the room here? Just want to make sure. Are you guys here? Susan and Kim, are you in the room somewhere? Because if I introduce them and they're not here, that's a problem. Okay. Can you go grab Kim? There you are. Okay, so I'll steal a little bit of Kim's thunder. So her company does something that's really important, I think, in the space, because really, if you're looking to supplement your diet with something, you often just are guessing, right? Like how do most people make wellness decisions? Actually, let me ask you this, since we have a second. How do most American consumers make their wellness decisions? Any guesses? Internet, social media, right? So on social media, what are they doing to, do their own research? Scrolling, right? And then there's people doing what, right? They're scrolling through social media, and then where's the information actually coming from? An influencer. That's it. That's who has taken the place of in many people's lives, their health coach or their even medical provider is some influencer online who is promoting a product, right? And they kind of feel like we all develop this sense of connection to this figure, this media figure. And then we say, well, I believe they care about me, or I believe they know what they're talking about. So I'm going to now buy the product because they convinced me that it's true. Now, if you think about it logically for a minute that way, is that a good way to make a health decision? Yes or no? Absolutely not, right? Just because it worked for Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton doesn't mean it's going to work for you, right? So what's the difference? Well, the difference is we're all bio individuals. We all have different profiles, genetic profiles, biochemical profiles, microbiome profiles, right? Biometric profiles. And we have systems where we now, through functional medicine, can test all of those things and figure out exactly what is the right thing that's going to work for you and create a fingerprint-like protocol for you. And Kim's here now. Okay, perfect. So I was killing time, but I was also sharing a little bit about why I respect what you're doing, because Kim has a company that does this. They actually create protocols based upon really powerful, impactful data, and really the basis of a lot of how your health can be considered or optimized is around genetics. So Susan and Kim, why don't you come up here and tell us all about SNiP. And please, you're a small group, but do me a favor. As the MC, I have to make it feel like there's a lot of energy in the room. So make a lot of noise, everyone, and welcome to the stage, please.
Thank you, Elias. Well, we can trade off. Okay. Perfect. So hello, everyone. Great to be here. I'd like to kick off a little bit with my story, if that's okay.
I would love for you to share your story.
I healed without standard of care of breast cancer, and I really think precision nutrition was one of the cornerstones of doing that. And years ago, pre-SNP genomics, I got my genes mapped, and I ended up getting pages and pages and pages of gobbledygook. Couldn't, no concise little report. And I worked with a nutrigenomics doctor in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I was taking over 80 supplements a day. And so the report wasn't clear. Those were my meals. Those were my meals, taking all of those supplements. And, when I learned what Kim is doing, it was just amazing, because you do get supplement fatigue, and then your compliance with what you're doing goes down. So that sort of, that precision in what you're doing, it was life changing. So tell me a little bit about your story, because you also have a story how you got involved.
I do. I actually retired once upon a time, 2007. But shortly after that, I was pregnant with baby number 4. And they saw some interesting things in my blood work, and off I went to an endocrinologist. I spent the next 11 years trying to figure out what was going on with me. Nobody could tell me. Chronic fatigue, terrible sleep, terrible digestion. I'd see this one, that one. I spent thousands of dollars. I went Ayurveda, I went vegan, I did crazy cleanses. I think this is a story for so many people. We're looking for answers, right? Well, in 2014, a dear friend of mine told me her son had ADHD, and she was not willing to put him on medication. She thought it was a specific genetic marker. I said, you've got to keep me posted. This is fascinating. And she spent $10,000 over a 9-month period of looking at the MTHFR gene and formulating just on that gene. But it was night and day difference. It changed her son's life. And I thought, wow, I was still struggling. 2 days later, my husband says, well, this is actually 2018. My husband says, when are we going to start this? And I said, you know what? I said, we're building a house. We've got kids moving all over the place. I said, right now is not the time. 2 days later, the technology that I actually work with now landed in my lap, of the ability to not take your genetics, map them for you, and simply be able to create a custom formula just for you. So in 2022, I've been working with this technology, which originally came from the Human Genome Project, for 6 years now. 2022, I wanted to up-level it. I wanted to change it. I wanted to do things better. So that's when SNiP Nutrigenomics launched. SNiP actually stands for single nucleotide polymorphisms. That's what we look at. And as Susan said, you were taking all of this different nutrients and these different things, 80 different supplements. That's not necessary. We have the technology now that we can custom compound for you what you need, why you need it, in what format, all into one. Is it meant to be the end all be all? No. But it is meant to be foundationally everything you need, and it is customized just to you. So
And just to clarify,
my story, when I addressed my genetics, unbeknownst to me, I did not know I had not had but 2 autoimmune issues. And it was like bing, bing, bing. I felt my energy, my sleep, my digestion, the chronic achy joints that I had, everything. It was amazing. I didn't even know at that point that that's what I had been dealing with until a genetic doctor finally tested me. I believe it was in 2020. And that's when I found out that what I had been dealing with all of those years. Standard of care, you guys, we're individuals. We're in the day and age that it should be personalized. Everybody's talking about biohacking. How do you biohack yourself unless you know what you're biohacking? And that is what your own roadmap, your own DNA tells us. So that's my story. I live pharmaceutical free, and I feel amazing.
So just to clarify, yeah. Oh, that's great. Worth a round of applause. Just to clarify, when you say all in one, it's actually how many supplements? Because that's a lot to fit into just one supplement. So you mean 10 pills, right?
Well, it's 2 little spoonfuls, or
Right.
And when you equate that into veggie caps, it's 10 veggie caps. 5 morning, 5 lunch, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. However you want to get it.
Much easier.
Yeah.
Yes. And so do you want to talk a little bit about the what are some of the SNPs that you formulate on, or like what that means? I mean, for people that aren't understanding what single nucleotide polymorphisms are, like say that quickly 10 times.
No doubt.
Uh,
So When we do our genetic testing, I don't care about where you're from or your propensity to have a unibrow. I care about the genes that impact you in aging, your healthy cholesterol, heart health, your body's ability to detox, your methylation. Everybody, if you haven't heard of methylation yet, it's literally everything. It turns on and off everything in our bodies. I am that person. If I go out in the sun, my body can't convert that sun to vitamin D. I can't do it. No wonder I have to supplement. Not only that, let's see how your body detoxes, inflammation, what's your body's propensity. I can see all of this through your genetics. Think about it like this. When you were born, unless you had some rare genetic disease, you didn't come out of your mother's womb with chronic inflammation, gut issues, etc. This is life. And we all inherit from our parents, which give us these propensities to possibly develop stomach issues, to develop ulcerative colitis, to not be able to detox, et cetera. Those are your genetics. I can take that information and give you plant-based nutrition, vitamins, minerals, micronutrients that have been scientifically validated to offset, or as one of the genetic doctors I work with, he says, we just keep putting patches on this. I can fill in the gaps. Give the body what it needs. The body will do what it needs to do. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and what I love about that is, genes are not our destiny. Epigenetics, we can switch them on and off, but doing all of those things right, like exercising is, and getting the amount of sleep and getting the perfect diet. I mean, 10 pills that are designed just for you is one easy thing that you can do.
A really simple thing, right? I mean, if we all had 26 hours in a 24-hour period just to work on our health, and if we had unlimited funds, I mean,
Yeah.
but this is personalized nutrition. The NIH has said by 2030, it will be the gold standard. Guess what? We just happen to have it a little bit sooner. And I'm watching daily of how this product is changing people, whether it is their weight, their pharmaceuticals that they're on. I've seen it thousands of times over of just life-changing things for people. So, and it's a natural, clean product.
And what all supplements are not created equal, and there's a big move into this precision medicine space. I mean, what's different about what you're doing?
Do you mean as far as the testing that we do on the ingredients?
Like all of it. Like, what's your uniqueness?
Our uniqueness. I am an ingredient hound. So this is one thing that I think is everybody should really understand when you do look at a supplement fact panel and you look at those other ingredients. I use whole foods as the base of my product. They're clean. What is amazing about this, you guys, when you buy a jar of vitamin C at the store, they probably had a run of 100,000 of them, and they did testing before they released it, right? Do you know that every single time I do a custom formula for an individual, I have to do micro testing before I release it? My product is third-party tested from raws to blends based on each of the genes, and then micro tested before it ships out to an individual. So that's something that's very unique about what we do. It's complex, but we make it simple. I make it so that you can understand where your focus should be, or I make it so that you understand.
And you compound it for a lot of SNPs, don't you? I know some products just do a few.
Oh yeah, we actually do our genetic testing. We report on 103 alleles. We expanded our panel because we are working with numerous oncology and autism doctors, and they wanted to see other pathways. We custom formulate on 22 genes. So
are you raising money or?
No. The reason I'm here, and I'm very thankful to Brad, Elias, it's about community and building and hearing what's out there. It's about collaboration. I am looking for clinics, providers, companies that see this technology, that want to collaborate, and connections. So that's what I'm here for. Can keep spreading the word of what we have.
So do you have a special offer for today?
I do. So I do have DNA test kits, obviously. I have DNA test kits here. We do our genetic test, and I think that maybe this is one thing that's really important for everybody. Hi, I see Tom Arts back there. We charge $297 for a 103 SNP panel. If any of you are going to A4M, you're going to see a couple of other companies, one of them that charges over $1,200 for a 54 SNP panel. Let's really get, I mean, this is not, in my opinion, this is about the masses being able to afford this. So if you do want a DNA test kit, you can buy one. The special offer today, which will not be at A4M, is that you are going to get a free personal DNA report review with myself or my scientific advisor, which we normally sell for $197. This deal is only good for today. And we will not be doing that at A4M. So it's a special for you.
Do we have a slide for that? I think that there was.
I turned it in, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I sent it to Brad. Nope, he didn't get it. That's okay. Sorry. I am in the other room. Please come see me. If you want to learn more and you want to learn more about our product, I'd be happy to have a talk.
Great.
Is there anything else? Or are we done with time?
I think we'll take one question. We have a question here, so please go ahead.
I'm really fascinated with what you do. I think it's great. I work with a lot of high performance athletes. I also work with a lot of high performance, stressed out entrepreneurs. What they all have in common is that it's hard to sleep and it's hard for them to turn their brain off. And they're constantly projecting and doing all different types of activities to try to calm themselves down. What I'm interested in, because you are a perfect example of what you struggled with, is when you found this testing and all of the different associated elements that go with it, it took you 6 years?
No. When I got on my customized product, it literally, within a couple of weeks, the energy, the sleep, the digestion changed. By the end of 4 months, that's a cell cycle. That is what we look at. And when you look at my entire panel, it highly aligns up with very standard blood work. But by the end of 4 months, all of the extra, can I say the word inflammation, that I was carrying in my body, I wasn't burning anymore. I was sleeping amazing. With literally within a matter of weeks, I was feeling good. My sleep totally changed.
So doing your DNA test will give you the overview of your digestive and your whole biological system?
So what we look at is we look at actionable genes that science has proven if you give it specific nutrients in specific formats in a specific dose with the right cofactors, you can fill in the gap to help the body. So it's give the body what it needs, the body will do what it needs to do. Quick example. A lot of people will tell me they're anemic. There's really no iron in this. And I'm not a provider, but I have seen this thousands of times over. You address methylation in the body, suddenly your body, and that's B's in the right format, your body is absorbing the iron from the food you eat, and you're no longer anemic. We've been watching a client of ours who has mast cell activation. She was that person that would go every 3 months, get 5 iron injections. Since she has been on my customized product, we have a chart and we watch her blood work, and she has not had to have 1 iron injection in over 2 years now. Let's have a conversation.
All right, thank you so much. Give them a round of applause. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Elias.
Just put the mics on the chairs, please, if you don't mind. So again, you can't improve what you don't measure. I mean, that's one of the big things that I have sort of is the problem with the biohacking space is that, someone's saying, follow my protocol because it's really good. I just talked about this a minute ago, right? So I'll give you a personal example of myself. I was vegetarian for a long time because I thought that was the right thing to do morally, ethically, spiritually, and it destroyed my health. I'm a keto guy. My body needs a keto diet to be optimized. And so if you're making these decisions based upon like what you think is the right thing to do and not doing genetic testing and getting the actual science, you could be making the wrong choices. And let me tell you, When you make that transformation of dialing in your diet, dialing in your supplementation, getting that done, you don't even realize how good you can actually feel. Like your baseline normal, what you think is okay, you might be capable of 10xing that if you dial in the right things. And so I can't encourage you enough, because as Kim said, I work in the space, and I can tell you, for a 54 SNP panel, the way they do it with the data they're giving you for $300 is like a crazy good deal. And so take advantage of that while you can.